Morning, members. We have a quorum, and this is the appointed time, so I'll call to order this meeting. So I'll now invite the deputations in and the representatives from the administrations in. We have altogether over 60 deputations and members of the community who are here to express their views. So we'll divide today's meeting into two sessions. The first session will be focused on deputations' views on the Island Line extensions, and it will take 1 hour to around 10 o'clock, and then we'll have a 10-minute break before we start the second session. We have limited seats, so we need to divide today's meeting into sessions. Today, at the subcommittee's meeting, we have from the administration Mr. Yao Ching-mu, Under Secretary for Transport and Housing, and Ms. Winnie Wong, Principal Assistant Secretary for Transport and Housing, and also officials from the Highways Department and the consultancy. I won't go through them one by one. So let me welcome deputations to this meeting. So if you need interpretation service, please put on the earpiece, and on the panel in front of you, you can choose the channel. Channel 1 is Cantonese, channel 2 is English. And may I remind everyone that the views you expressed at the panel at the subcommittee and the written submissions will not be protected under the Legislative Council Powers and Privileges Ordinance Cap 382. So if you have submitted the written submission, we thank you, and if you have further submissions to make, please do so after the meeting so that members can understand better the views of deputations and individuals. So I will start this session, and I will invite Under Secretary to give a brief introductory remarks. Under Secretary, please. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, deputations, for coming here to express your views. Well, the government has conducted a consultancy study for the Railway Development Strategy 2000 to update the long-term railway development blueprint. And we have started the Stage 2 public engagement exercise with the focus on 7 local enhancement railway schemes. And in March this year, we also briefed the panel on our proposals, and we have sought views from members on the schemes. For the public engagement exercise, it will be conducted in an interactive manner. We have roving exhibitions in districts. We have 4 discussion forums, and through email and on the website and by facsimile, members of the public can also forward their views to us. At the same time, we've also consulted the district councils, the Transport Advisory Committee, and academics and professional bodies, as well as the business sector, so that more members of the community can take part in the engagement exercise. We see that stakeholders and other deputations have now come to attend this meeting, and I welcome views from various stakeholders on the schemes. And on various occasions, we have understood requests from members of the public for more detailed information, including financial proposals on these schemes. But I want to emphasize that we are consulting the public on the conceptual plans for these schemes, so that on a strategic level we can seek the views from the public on feasible railway enhancement options in the future. In deciding whether to implement a particular scheme or how it should be done, we have yet to come up with a position. I want to stress that at this stage we're still discussing with the public, and once we have formulated the scheme for implementation, we will roll out extensive consultation exercises, and we'll also give more details in relation to technical matters. And the consultancy study is expected to be completed in this year, and the government will make reference to the consultancy study. And there are three major principles, including tying in with the development of the NDAs and cost effectiveness. We will formulate the blueprint for railway development in the future, and we expect to brief members of the community on the long-term railway development in 2014. We have altogether 16 deputations and individuals for this session of the meeting, so welcome. May I first invite Mr. LAI Siu-tong to speak. Each of you will have 3 minutes to speak. Thank you, Chairman. I'm LAI Siu-tong from Sai-Kung Taxi Operators Association Limited. I think, to me, for South Tuen Mun and Tuen Mun Pier, this section is quite short, and I think that we have minibuses and taxis and buses for the journey, and it's just a short journey. So for this extension, I don't see any urgency, and we don't see the need for the time being. Now, the other point is that for Hong Shui Kiu station, I think the administration is preparing for Tianhai development, and I think land has been reserved for the station. So I think it can wait. For Tianhai, there is transport on land as well as at sea, so I don't see urgency in this development. For sea, from Sha Tin Central Link to Tai Wai, Hong Ham, as far as the railway network is concerned, it's kind of a green transport, and I think members of the public and the administration should step up their effort in environmental protection. So I agree. However, the connection of West Rail to Ma On Shan, the Wu Kai Sha station, to me, I think that for stations like University, etc., it's accessible, whereas for Sai-Kung and the vicinity, the administration has not considered extending the railway network to that part. So I think the connection should be from Wu Kai Sha to Subsei Hung of Sai Sha Highway and Hiram Highway, and then to UST, and then for it to be connected to the Cheung Kwan O line. And I think that this is better in terms of environmental protection and urban development. Sai-Kung is the back garden of Hong Kong. There is also the nice country park and the Geo Park. And during weekends, traffic flow is very heavy there. So the administration should consider looking into this railway option. So I am in support of that. Thank you. Next, Mr. Ng. Good morning, members and government officials. I am Kwan Sing. I represent the Taxi Dealers and Owners Association Limited. Now, I come to speak because of two major problems. We are also concerned about the impact of railway development on the public, but we're more concerned about its impact on the taxi drivers. So I think we should look at railway development in the short, medium, and long term. Short means district development. Long term or medium term means territory-wide. The long term means whether it should be connected to the mainland. So for Tuen Mun South and Tung Chung West extensions, in relation to the population, the deployment of resources, etc., I do have views because there are already connecting transports for Hong Shui Kiu and Kutung stations. Now, in relation to population, resources, land, etc., etc., I can see more opportunities, and they're more suitable for future development of Hong Kong. For major railway lines, for West Well, the daily loading is 360,000. So more trains could be deployed to West Rail, and if Hong Shui Kiu station is built, it can cover Tin Shui Wai as well as Tuen Mun nearby. And it can serve 160,000 extra population and some 40,000 plus job opportunities can be created. Now for Kutung and Hong Shui Kiu station, I think the development potential is greater, and Kutung is close to our border checkpoint and it's close to the mainland border. So in terms of cost effectiveness, it is greater.
Concerning railways, they're actually serving the people of Hong Kong. People are brought by our railway network to all parts of Hong Kong to work. In future, this network may be extended to the mainland, covering more places. So we should stand from the viewpoint of the general public that this network may be extended in future to the whole country. Railways are policy-based. It's actually lopsided in terms of policies. In future, where will taxis stand? Please consider the room of operation for taxis in future. Next, Mr. Ng Ka-chiu. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. I'm Ng Ka-chiu from New People's Party. The New People's Party support Tuen Mun South line extension. However, for Tuen Mun South line and south extension and the Hong Shui Kiu station, they'll bring in a huge number of passengers. At present, the patronage stands at 65%, but each train is fully packed. In particular, at Yuen Long and Long Ping stations, passengers can't board at all. So we query whether these additional two stations will be able to serve residents in the vicinity of Tuen Mun Pier and Hong Shui Kiu, at the same time sacrificing passengers at Yuen Long and Long Ping stations. Will these two rail lines will be able to ease the load on the light rail? For New People's Party, we propose an automatic light rail system to ease road congestion. In fact, previously in East Kowloon, you did conduct a study on a light rail system that is not manually operated. I think you should pay attention to the significance of Yuen Long and New Territories West. For Tin Shui Wai North, Kwai Chung North, there is a population of about 100,000 people. The traffic and transport network is inconvenient. So another rail line should be built around the Kwai Chung North area. We propose that the MTRC and the Transport Department should set up feeder bus routes to take Kwai Chung North residents to MTR stations so that they can more effectively make use of the railway network. At the moment, they have to make a number of bus transfers before they can reach MTR stations. That's very inconvenient. Mr. LAI Siu-tong. Good morning, Chairman and members. I'm LAI Siu-tong from the Liberal Party. First of all, I support the enhancement of the West Rail extension. There should be a station at Tuen Mun South. At the moment, there's a population of 90,000 people, and Sheko, Tai, O, Tung Chung residents may also want to come to Tuen Mun. Ferry services have been suspended for those areas. And then secondly, Hong Shui Kiu Station should be commissioned as soon as possible. Hong Shui Kiu will be a new development area. By 2030, the population will grow to 100,000 people with 48,000 jobs. So we should make use of the railway service to lead our development projects. We should not wait till the population has grown to a particular level. Of course, cross-boundary networks to Shanghai should be connected to the Hong Shui Kiu spur line. So in future, Hong Shui Kiu can become a hub city. And the consultancy has certain worries. I'd like to comment on those. First of all, the government should not neglect the functions of cross-boundary rail lines. After choosing our development projects, we should not lose any opportunity of development, and we should be more forward-looking by integrating the railway networks in the east and the west. Tuen Mun South and Hong Shui Kiu Station should be commissioned as soon as possible. And we should link up the eastern and western parts of Hong Kong. In particular, after the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge is completed, we should pay more attention to the developments in Shanghai. As for the major cross-boundary railway networks, a light rail system should be constructed to facilitate the residents along Castle Peak Road. Of course, we support the spur line in the north, in particular that linking Kwu-tung and Kam Sheung Road. A Kwu-tung station should be constructed. For New Territories West residents, they should get more expeditious and convenient rail line service to the mainland. And we should have a major circular railway network to link up the eastern, southern, western, and northern parts of Hong Kong. As for the Tung Chung West extension, for the moment, it will only serve one town in the urban areas. We will further study that. Thank you. Next, Mr. Kwok Chung Man will talk about Tung Chung West extension, but I must give you the historical background. In the year 2000, there are two electrical papers to inform us of the North Lantau Development Plan. At that time, we are told that there will be 4 MTR stations on Lantau Island, and Tung Chung extension should be situated on the Tung Chung reclamation. There are planning projects in the vicinity, so Tung Chung should get a bright prospect. However, the routing of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge has suffocated the development of Tung Chung. And then after the commissioning of the bridge, clearance have to be done at 3 different locations, thus adding to the difficulty. North Lantau Hospital is situated on the rail line. For the number 8 option and Tung Chung Extension 3A, released further land for Tung Chung. And the original plans were dropped. And then we got the Tung Chung New Town study. The report was also dropped. Now, this has been dragged on for over 10 years. At Yat Tung Estate, in Tung Chung Estate, we recommended a Tung Chung West Station. Well, the readers of the report decoded the report wrongly. They genuinely believe that very soon there will be an MTR station there. Now, we do not agree to the description in paragraph 7.5 of the consultation document. People didn't wake up suddenly. Tung Chung residents did not suddenly wake up. They were told previously that there would be a Tung Chung West station. Mr. Chairman, people should keep their promises, right? Am I correct? We have sufficient justifications for a Tung Chung West station. We do not agree to paragraph 7.7 either. That's an untrue description. Only E31 and E21A terminating at Yantung Estate are serving the Tung Chung West residents. And then there are special services during special hours. Now, if that logic stands, one bus per week can also satisfy the previous promise. It's not necessary for you to ask too many questions. Many people will rely on the description of the consultation document. At the end of the day, the majority interest will be built at the expense of minority sacrifice. Next, Mr. Cheng C. Lut from the Labour Party. Mr. Chairman, there are modifications proposed in this Stage 2 consultation digest. For Island North extension, it goes through the most important business district of Hong Kong, thus impacting hugely on workers and residents. The administration would like this North Island line to ease the traffic on the other rail lines. We understand that this line will have a huge number of passengers. I'd like to mention the interchanges. For Chang Kwan O line and Tung Chung line, they'll be able to balance the North Island line in terms of passenger demands. We can facilitate those commuters using Chang Kwan O line and Tung Chung line. And at the same time, island residents can travel from the east and west conveniently. However, the North Island line is subject to certain constraints of the Tung Chung line and the Chiang Mai Bridge. Battery path to Chai Wan service may suffer in terms of frequency. If you use the interchange option, you will be able to serve those crossing the harbor to work and suit the demands of island residents. As for the other proposals, Siu Sai Wan, Tuen Mun South, Tung Chung West, Ku Tong, Hong Shui Kiu, they can serve the developed areas and open up further development opportunities for other areas. We should improve our railway networks to improve the transport infrastructure of for the residents. But for Hong Shui Kiu and Ku Tong, for example, these railway projects are very cautious. We can see that railway developments have become an attraction for the land developers. They've actually occupied sites in the rural areas. Unless there's a long-term need to suit demographic demands, unless the development of the urban areas is very urgent, we don't want to see the government use railway development projects to carry out unnecessary developments in the urban areas and allow land developers to reap profits while damaging the urban areas. Next, Mr. Wang Po Kang Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Yao. For the Hong Kong Taxi Owners Association Limited, we're of the view that you should make sure that there is a sufficient number of passengers for the rail lines. Otherwise, other modes of transport will be subsidizing the railways. It will not be fair to other modes of transport. Although we support the construction of rail lines, we would like the government to make sure that in future there will be a sufficient number of passengers to support all these proposed rail lines. We've read the drawings and we query whether at certain locations you'll have a sufficient number of passengers. As for the Hang-Fa-Chuen line, there are not enough passengers. There's no urgency for that. Of course, if the number of passengers is enough, a railway-based policy can be justified, but public money should not be used to subsidize rail line developments. Otherwise, it is unfair to the whole transport industry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next, Mr. Yang Wing-chun. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, good morning. We are the public transport think tank of Hong Kong, an idea for Hong Kong. After reading the consultation document, we come to the view that the government is not going to change its stance. But then an assessment should be conducted to gauge whether the existing services can meet demands and whether there are other infrastructure and network developments in future to facilitate vehicles and pedestrians before enhancing the existing rail lines. As for this consultation digest, we have 3 categories of comments.
The schemes with the most urgent need, I'll talk about the Island Line, South Island Line West extension first. It will go from the Hong Kong University to Wah Fu, and originally the proposal was that interchange would be made at Wong Chuk Hang Station. But now for the east section of SIL, there's only one connection leading to Admiralty, but Admiralty will also be the interchange for Sha Tin Central Link. So all passengers will be concentrated in that station and worry about the capacity of Admiralty Station. And some passengers might want to go to Cyberport as well. So if there is another interchange between east and west, say near at Wong Chuk Hang Station, it will facilitate passengers, and it will also offer an alternative interchange station. And for Tuen Mun South Extension, I think it's feasible. And for the West Rail line, there is a huge demand in that area, and the loading has also been saturated, so I think it can facilitate passengers so that their journey time may be shorter, and other passengers may also be diverted to, say, near Tin Shui Wai, and there will also be an NENT development soon, so we need railway extensions to relieve demand, and also but the Kutong Station should go hand in hand with the Northern Link project. Now, the second category is those with urgent need, but then it must tie in with future development. For Island Line, the North Extension, or North Island Line, I think that we should wait for the development to be completed. For Siu Sai Wan Line, the situation is the same. Land resumption may be required. As for Hung Shui Kiu and Tung Chung, the development has not matured yet, so I think the area should be developed before a timetable is drafted for the development. Next, Mr. Chan Sing Yew. Good morning, Chairman, members. I'd like to talk about the South Island Line West Extension. Well, residents in the Southern District has all along been suffering they need to take buses, and they need to spend at least an hour when going to work. And they very much look forward to the administration's consultation exercise on the South Island Line West Extension for Shek Pai Wan, Aberdeen, and the Wah Fu South, etc. The population is very dense there, and residents are waiting for this extension. As for Pok Fu Lam residents, they are concerned, and they do have reservations on the potential impact of the railway line on their community. But if only their concern is considered, and as a result, the SIL West extension is left on the back burners for consideration only, then it's not a good thing for residents there. If the administration is really committed to serving the community, then residents in the Southern District should not be left in a cul-de-sac. To insist on the construction of the whole railway line is infeasible. Local residents would like to see a proposal that can commence as soon as possible. So to serve residents in the Southern District, there should be separate railway lines to serve the most densely populated areas, and that is the sectional proposal put forward by the consultant. Next, Mr. Chulat Boy. Thank you, members. I am Southern District Councillor. So I would like to give my views on the SIL West. SIL West is part of the Island Line, so I support the administration's planning as soon as possible so that it can be commissioned for the benefit of residents in Southern District. The east section of South Island Line will be commissioned in 2015. It will be able to serve people in Ap Lei Chau and Mong Chuk Hang. For other residents living in Southern District, they still need to rely on buses. Residents are used to taking buses, so the South Island Line might not be as attractive to residents as thought. So it takes years for the railway line to mature, and I think it's the time is right for us to plan for SIL West. I hope that the SIL West project can commence as soon as the SIL East line is completed. On the one hand, it can tie in with the South Island Line, and it can also serve residents living on the west side of the Southern District. I also support the extension, and along Aberdeen, including Tin Wan, Wah Fu, Wah Kwai, and Shek Pai Wan, there are a number of public as well as private housing estates. The area is densely populated, and people there rely mostly on public transport. There is an urgent need for a railway line to be constructed to serve the residents in the community. There is unanimous support for this line extension in the district. I think all the prerequisites are there for this construction. I think we can think about the Aberdeen section first. We can commence Aberdeen section first before we gauge the views of Pok Fu Lam area and implement the proposal. This will save time. This will not cause a delay in the Aberdeen section, and it will also give time for consensus to be reached for the Pok Fu Lam extension. And I hope the administration could heed the views and commence the SIL West line as soon as possible, in particular the densely populated areas along Aberdeen and Wah Fu. Next, Mrs. Mac Chair Howlings. Good morning. everyone. I am Mak Chair Howling. I'm also a Southern District Councillor. When we sought views of the community on this extension proposal, it was an easy job for us. For other projects, we might need to spend much time, but for this project, there is unanimous view, and the local residents looked forward very keenly to its construction. There is an urgent need because for Tin Wan, Shek Pai Wan, over on that side, there is a huge population, and there is a need for traffic relief. And I won't talk about history. I will say something about Wah Fu. Wah Fu is in a state of over 40 years with a large population. We existed long ago, and apart from relieving traffic, rail line could also bring business opportunities to the commercial arcade in Wah Fu. Wah Fu is situated in a very good environment. We have shopping arcade, and with an aging population, the business in the arcade is not that good. But if a railway line is constructed, it can bring about business opportunities. We see that the districts along the railway lines are often benefited from more business opportunities and more jobs. So we very much hope that the Island Line West can commence as soon as possible, so that, first of all, the traffic situation in Southern District can be relieved, and secondly, this will bring hope to residents in the Southern District. There are also other major housing estates near Wah Fu. It's very close to Wah Fu. So a railway line can bring about a basket of benefits. I hope the administration could commence the South Island Line West project as soon as possible. Thank you. Next, Mr. Wong Choi Lam. Thank you, Chairman. Good morning. I represent the Wah Fu Estate Residents Association. We support the administration's proposal. That is the new proposal of SIL West for consultation floated in the beginning of this year. That is to divide the line into two sections, one leading to Pok Fu Lam and the other to Wah Fu. I support this proposal. I hope it can commence as soon as possible. Even if the whole stretch cannot be constructed in one go, we support the sectional construction. It takes 7 years for South Island Line East to be planned and constructed and commissioned. And throughout the years, all along, residents in our district have been suffering from traffic congestion problems, including the Aberdeen Tunnel, and we have one single corridor from Aberdeen to Pok Fu Lam. And the development will help the area, including the densely populated areas like Wah Fu, Tin Wan, Shek Pai Wan, etc. There is a need for railway transport to be provided. As far as the population is concerned, on the west side, the population is similar to the east side, where SILE is being provided. So there is a need for the west extension to be constructed as soon as possible. For the Southern District, there is not much opposition to the idea of constructing the Aberdeen section first from Wong Chuk Hang to Aberdeen, Tin Wan to Wah Fu. So the sectional proposal is feasible. This can help smooth development of the district, and Wah Fu has a history of more than 40 years. And for the long-term development, we considered transport as the major reason why Wah Fu cannot be developed further. And now this proposal, if implemented, can help the development of Wah Fu in the long run. So I think the administration should implement the proposal as soon as possible within this year. We support either the construction of the whole section or separate sections. Next, Mr. Zhang Wai-sing. Thank you, Chairman. I represent the Hong Kong Southern District Community Association Limited. Now, we support the construction of South Island Line West, in particular the Aberdeen section from Wah Fu to Tin Wan, Aberdeen to Wong Chuk Hang. The population along the railway lines is very huge, and there is always a keen demand for railway service. And residents there all want the railway line to be built as soon as possible. In terms of the consultation report for Aberdeen section, paragraph 1 in the report, if it can be implemented as soon as possible, our association very much welcome it.
For SIL, it is a very important rail line to ease traffic. So if the Aberdeen section, after the completion of the Aberdeen section, the western section should also proceed to complete the circular line in the south. Any response from the government? Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank those who have spoken. I noted several special features. Now, the deputations are from different industries and background, so they touched upon a broad spectrum of issues. They did not focus on any particular feature. Just now I noted that there were more deputations from the Southern District. Still, they touched upon a broad spectrum of aspects. I understand the urgent need for SIL West. I did personally visit the Southern District and heard their views. Many of the friends here just now reminded us that patronage is very important because we're talking about a huge amount of public resources. For any particular project, we'll definitely bear that point in mind. As for SIL, the deputations did share with us different views about the two different sections of SIL. I've already noted their concerns. There are certain new ideas that we seldom heard before. I won't comment the details. I won't comment on the details here. Now, the consultation period will end on the 20th of May. Any further views can be passed to us. You can visit our website. You can use emails. Well, some people actually told me that they could produce a video of, say, an hour and upload it onto YouTube. Well, we welcome that as well. So to sum up, at the end of this year, the consultancy will submit an overall report to us. We'll study the economic benefits involved, potentials of land development, transport needs, and so forth. We'll study all these aspects in detail. We would like to, in 2014, explain to you the whole blueprint. Railway development is not a hard and fast rule. In accordance with the actual needs and circumstances, we'll have to set priorities. I mentioned transport demands, potential for land development, and cost effectiveness and economic benefits just now. At the end of the exercise, we'll explain to you the priorities that we've determined. We'll study all aspects in detail, in particular financial details and engineering details. In particular, we'll carry out detailed consultation and examination together with the residents of the district concerned. Now we are to draw a blueprint for the future. We're willing to discuss with you this blueprint. We're willing to discuss with district councils and district residents as well as professional bodies, because we would like to involve everybody in the formulation of the blueprint. Thank you. Any more questions or comments? I believe the deputations have already clearly expressed their views just now, and our official has provided a satisfactory response. So much for this part. Thank you so much for this session. So thank you very much, deputations. Thank you very much. Colleagues, we'll take a break of 10 minutes. We'll resume at 10 a.m. We'll resume at 10:10.